Hello everyone, welcome back to Hibiki, chapter 8 in 9 RIP. It's been a while since I posted a video and I apologize, but with the holidays and family and the weekend, my schedule got all messed up. So there was no way to fit in good downtime, like planned downtime anyway, where I could sit down and record some things. But we are back with another Hibiki episode. This is what did I say? Chapter 8 or 8 and 9, right? Yeah. 2 more chapters left and we're done. Oh my goodness. And then we could get to Saya? I don't know. Who's the next common root? Let's find out. Senna. So who is Senna in? Let me see. So recommended soft route for from least to greatest spoilers would be Senna next. And Senna is in the urban legend. So it's Senna and Koyo, which Senna, I believe, is probably going to be the singer that Hibiki was talking about. Was he a singer? Yeah, a singer. And Koyo, I think, is Kureha's friend, his ghost friend that he was watching movies with. That's not confirmed, but he did say that he knew him at the end of his route whenever he showed up. Let's see, Saya, poor Saya, is not until the next common root, which is Other Realm, which is Saya and Minami, which is who I think is the little boy character. I don't know if I said this in a 9 rip or whatever, but yeah, I think I did because I was talking about Hibiki. But little boy characters, it's just, we'll see if we can get it to him. We'll see if I can get it to him or not. We'll see. Anyway. In a daze, my consciousness came back to me. I forgot what happened. I know Hibiki was plotting to do something mean to her in order to push her away and to make her go back home because he doesn't want to tell her one of his regrets. And she's having trouble, I guess, staying healthy in this realm because of all the air and stuff. That's right, I came back to the nurse's office by myself. I was discouraged that Hibiki didn't come with me, so I decided to rest and close my eyes. Yeah, she wants to help him, and he's like, I don't want you to help. How long was I asleep? I felt like I had dreamt something, but I couldn't quite be sure. Whatever the dream was, I was glad it wasn't a nightmare. That's right, before I fell asleep, I put the bag with the Khalifa flowers near my pillow. I raised myself up and began to look around. Next to my pillow, I saw the small bag and... And Hibiki. Hibiki was there too. Good, I'm glad he came. The moment I saw his face, that nervous feeling crept back into my heart. His expression was normal, but his eyes were shaking like he was still worried about me. I feel great. It seems like I just need to rest before my head starts to hurt.
それなら、よかったです。大看守様が言っていました。睡眠こそが、今のあなたには最も重要だと。
Knowing his secret plans, I think he's putting on a fake smile right now. That's right, I'll make sure to take frequent breaks from now on.
それは必要ないです。
Here we go. Huh? Hibiki stared back at me, his face calm. Or I thought he was calm, but he turned away from me. What is it? The strange feeling. What is it?
それは、僕が言わなくてもわかるんじゃないですか?
Could it be he's upset about what happened in the classroom? The relief in my heart turned ice cold. What should I do? He said something nice to him and he almost wanted to touch her, but he refrained from doing that. Chapter 8. I'm not going home, but it's not a save, so let's ask him, should I go home? Hibiki, do you want me to go home? Fearful of the answer, I asked him. The silence itself was frightening. Hibiki's gaze wandered for some time before he finally responded to me.
でも、あなたは僕を成仏させないと帰れないじゃないですか。プリントの彼岸花から一つ色が消えて、まだそのままですよね。
Technically that's true, but I felt my heart sink in my chest. I'm not here because I can't go home. I'm here because I don't want to go home. I couldn't understand why he was suddenly being so cold to me. Are you upset about what happened in the classroom?
どうしてですか？
You're being so cold to me. The minute I said those words, his face changed into a wide, fake smile. Of course it's fake, because I mean, if he was acting normally, he would be sad that she would say that. But anyway, let's go back to the top. I am not going home. Even if you look at me like that, I'm not going home. I'll be here as long as time allows. Despite feeling nervous aside, I spoke boldly. Hibiki smiled brightly back at me.
わかっています。
Which is why I'm going to be mean to you. At first glance, Hibiki seemed his normal self, and yet his appearance was unmoved, like he was made of wax.
そばにいるって言ってもらえて嬉しいんです。でも勘違いしてしまいますよ。
Huh?
僕のためを思ってしてくれてる。ここに残ってくれてるって分かってますけど、そこには特別な感情も含まれているんじゃないかって。
Unable to say anything, I was forced into silence. I still didn't know how to deal with the emotions.
僕の勘違いですよね。ごめんなさい。困らせちゃって。
Seeing Hibiki's bitter smile, I wanted to find some way to respond to him, but I couldn't find the words to say. I still don't know for sure, but I think you might be right. Oh. In the end, I finally said it. I feel so pathetic. He must be so disappointed. Deep in my own thoughts, I glanced over at him. Uh-oh. Huh? Hibiki's cheeks were flushed. And when our eyes met, he quickly turned his face away from me.
そういうのは言わない方がいいです。好きな人の言葉はその一つ一つが気になって、結局期待してしまうから。
But he just said now. Those were Hibiki's true feelings.
それじゃあまた僕の幸せ探しをしましょう。多分これできっと見つかります。
Huh? Hibiki, does that mean you know what it is that will make you happy?
はい。
I was filled with joy as Hibiki nodded back at me.
じゃあ行きましょうか。
I don't like how the music just stopped. With a bright smile, Hibiki opened the door to the nurse's office. The way things were before I fell asleep, it didn't seem like he'd be able to find what makes him happy so easily. Thinking about it rationally, it all seemed a little strange. No, I should trust him. Don't trust him.
行かないんですか？
He's plotting. Of course I am. No, do it. Hibiki walked one step ahead of me, his stride brimming with determination. So where are we going?
行けばわかりますよ。
Makes even more sinister sounding. That was all he said, and he kept walking. But it was rather quick, wasn't it? With only the sound of his footsteps between us, I broke the silence and asked him,
そう感じましたか？
Yes, I never expected you to find what makes you happy so quickly.
あなたが眠っている間、ずっと考えていたんです。僕の幸せは何かって。
Suddenly he stopped. Then he turned and looked back at me.
ずっと目の前にあったのに、近すぎて気づけなかった。
He's about to turn all creepy on her, isn't he? At that moment, I felt goosebumps on my skin. I know, right?
一人で考えて、ようやくわかりました。僕がどうすればいいかって。
His eyes, his expression, there was something there that scared me. Why is he thinking like this? I couldn't rid myself of the feeling that this wasn't the person I'd been with up until now.
意外と幸せって気づかないようなところにあるんですよね。
I feel pretty happy with my everyday life now. You said that before, right?
はい。本当に、その通りだったんです。
As he spoke, I started to think, what is Hibiki thinking right now? Where is he taking me?
もう少しですよ。
What if he's taking her somewhere to lock her up forever? Her staying with him would make him happy, right? So what if he actually... But he wants her to get home, right? I have no idea what to think. Wanting to know his true intentions, I kept speaking to him. And yet, I couldn't understand his true feelings or intentions. We finally arrived at the stairs. Is he going to force her out of the mirror? This place has something to do with what will make you happy.
ええ。とってもあるんです。思い出してみてください。
Remember. Does this have something to do with me?
もちろんですよ。
A fearfully beautiful, chilling smile appeared on Hibiki's face. Step after step, he came closer and closer. Hibiki? Oh no, what's going on? His smile filled me with dread, so I took one step back from him.
僕のこと、成仏させてくれるんですよね。
He quickly closed the gap between us. This isn't the Hibiki I know.
聞こえてますか？僕のこと、成仏させてくれるんですよね。
Yes, but... Hibiki took another step towards me. Without turning his eyes away from his, I took another step backwards. I felt my hand and back press against the cool, firm wall behind me. The mirror. Oh my goodness, that was quick. Whatever. Here we go, just have to use the Joy-Cons off of my dock. That's right. That's right, here on the landing, the mirror should be behind me, right? I should have been able to pass through here, but now...
黙ってるだけじゃ、わかりませんよ。
If his plan is to, like... I don't know, he's scaring her right now, but if his plan is to, like, keep her here... In the last episode, he cared for her enough that he really wanted her to go home and forget about him. But I don't think keeping her here would be his solution, right? Because that's hurting her. In front of me, I saw a depressed-looking Hibiki. I'd been locked in here. Passing through the worlds required Hibiki's permission. In other words, the only thing that could keep me trapped in this world was Hibiki.
あなたが、僕の思いを受け止めてくれること。僕はただ、それだけに幸福を感じる。
He was so close that if I stood up even slightly taller, I could feel his breath on me.
だから、感じさせて。その唇で、あなたのぬくもりを。
Oh my goodness, is he going to kiss her? What do I choose? Alright, this is a save file, so we're going to save. And we're going to accept his feelings. His pale, mask-like face and white lips drew closer to me. In response, I accept. I've got to get my head on straight. This is what he needs to cross over. I wanted to accept his wishes. This was the CG that I was hoping would come in the last one, but it didn't. I gently placed my hands on his chest, then felt a cool breath on my lips. But no matter how long I waited, his kiss never came.
なんで拒否しないんですか？
She likes you too. We were so close, if either of us moved an inch, our lips would meet, and yet Hibiki's face contorted with frustration. That was the face of the kind boy I'd come to know.
ここで拒否しないと僕に触れてしまうのに僕があなたのぬくもりを奪ってしまうかもしれないのに
His voice shouting at me from so close I couldn't help but tremble. I'm scared, but this fear was different from before. I'll be alright. It's what you want, right? In that case, I suppose a little is alright.
でもそれじゃあなたが
I don't mind. Even if it shortens my life, that's okay. Oh, was not expecting this. I surprised even myself with the words that came out of my mouth. Is that it? Finally, I understood how I felt about him. I've become rather taken with him after all.
どうして
Once I acknowledged it, I realized the emotion fit perfectly with how I felt.
どうしてそこまで僕のことをおかしいですよ
We were in a slightly awkward position. Our skin never touched, but I could tell from his reaction this wasn't what he wanted. But if this is what was needed to help Hibiki cross over, it's not crazy. I just want you to be happy. Oh. She did it first? Oh my goodness. I pressed my lips on top of his. I was not expecting that at all. Felt his cold, soft lips on mine, but the lack of warmth made him all the more dear to me. Oh, that's so cute. Even though our lips were touching, I felt a chill run through me. Then suddenly... The hate in his heart entered my brain. This feeling. Oh no. What's happening? Did he shove her? I felt myself being pushed away when my whole vision turned red.
ありがとう
Opening my eyes, I saw him looking down at me through the mirror.
これで成仏できそうです
He's lying. The smile on his face masked the pain he was feeling just below the surface. Wait, Hibiki.
さようなら
Uh-oh. He does not plan on coming back. Oh no. The mirror flashed and his figure disappeared. Then the only thing I saw in the mirror was my own reflection. No. I touched the surface of the mirror, my hand merely pressed against the cold glass. It's just a regular mirror again. Did Hibiki shut me out? No, that wasn't it. Maybe he really has crossed over. Hibiki? For a moment, I stared in front of the mirror motionless, deep in thought. Nope, that's not the end. There's still one more chapter. For some time after that, I merely stared at the mirror, deep in thought. It appeared to be nothing more than an ordinary mirror. It didn't betray the slightest hint of what had become of Hibiki. A wraith could appear here at any moment. For now, I should get to safety. Back to the nurse's office with you. Walking alone in the blood-red world, there was a buzzing in the air that pricked my skin and left me uncomfortable. Somewhere along the line I got used to the mirror world's silence. Or maybe that's not right. I had gotten used to being next to Hibiki. I need to stop with these dark thoughts. First things first, I should try and find Kureha and Yui. Suppressing my anxiety, I made my way to the nurse's office. There, I found only Yui. Looking around, I saw no sign of Kureha.
ずっと気になっていたのよ。その後、どう？響さんの様子は。
Well, he crossed over. At least I think he did.
かもしれないって。
Perhaps seeing my depressed face, Yui's expression changed slightly as well.
確実ではないの？
I just don't know. He said he thought he was going to cross over soon, but I didn't see it with my own eyes. I thought about going back into the mirror to check, but it suddenly became a normal mirror.
そう。 そんなに悲観的な顔をするものではなくてよ。無事に成仏できたから鏡の中の世界ごと消えたという可能性もあるのではないかしら。
Yeah, I guess so. Maybe Hibiki really did cross over, but if that were the case, what did I see when we kissed? Perhaps it's like what Seiya said before? All right. For the thoughts of a ghost to reach me, certain conditions needed to be met. When you touch a ghost, you can see their thoughts, right? This is another save. So many different endings for Hibiki. We're going to say his regrets were strong. Hey Yui, do you remember what Seiya said before? About how if I touched a ghost who has strong regrets, they would pass on to me.
そうね。そんな話はしていたと思うわ。
Oh, she would have regrets now.
ただ、私がはっきり覚えているのは、闇に染まっていない思念なら危険ではないというところくらいで。
Come to think of it, when I touched Hibiki, I didn't have the same headache or difficulty breathing I had before. The Hibiki overcame the darkness within him. Huh? But his regrets was that he wanted to be happy, he said so himself. If he was happy when he was kissing me, where did those negative thoughts come from? I thought back to the emotions I had felt the first time he touched me. I'm scared. I'll be okay. I have to die. It was things like that, right? Those words were about finding a way to be happy and not being killed. That's why he killed himself. But those feelings were different than what I had just heard. Hate. That was clearly what he said. The visions I had seen were brimming with intense hatred. Could be that what is really holding him back. Does that mean that Hibiki's been lying to me?
ねえ、響さんが成仏したのかわからないのなら、これから確かめに。
Before when he told me about the time that he was kidnapped by Isao Tsukigami, he told me he wanted to kill him. Thinking about that was the only joy I had in that dark place. Is that what would make him happy? In that case, Hibiki's real regret is... My mind drifted to the worst possible conclusion and the blood drained from my face.
ねえ、聞いているの？
No, she's not. Sorry, I was lost in my own thoughts. Listen, leave Hibiki to me. I think I've come up with a great solution.
わかったわ。手伝ってほしいことがあったらいつでも頼ってね。
Right, thanks. But there's no way he can kill him. I mean, Hibiki's a ghost now. Huh? Speaking of which, where is Isao Tsukigami? Indeed, where is he? Everything happened because he was searching for his lost daughter. I know he's probably got regrets too, so he's probably a ghost as well. Given the circumstances, I hesitated to ask Yui directly, but I knew I had no other choice. Yui, I'm sorry to ask you this, but did your father pass away already? The look on her face changed as she cast her gaze downward. Wasn't Kureha the one that killed him?
今、私の父は生前において大量に人を殺した。その罪で地獄で罰を受けているのよ。刑期が終わるまで魂が持てば地獄を出てこられるけれど、罰に耐えきれず魂が壊れてしまえば二度目の死を迎える。
What do you mean a second death?
無になるのよ。本当の意味でどの世からも消えるの。
Disappear, huh? Despite being dead, humans still have a soul. When that is destroyed, they face a second death. They become nothing and cease to exist in all realms. That's even worse than dying. I was surprised, but so frightened by the prospect I was unable to speak. I had no idea what to say to Yui either.
刑期は何百年と気が遠くなるほどの期間だから、出てこられたとしてもまだまだ先のことよ。
Seiya had said something similar. The punishment in hell would fit the gravity of the crime. Given how close Hibiki is to Seiya, there's no doubt Seiya would have told him that Isaoskigami is in hell. Do you want to go there? In that case, why not place Hibiki somewhere other than the school? I wouldn't want to be anywhere near the place I was kidnapped. That can't be good for his mental state.
それは。僕がここを選んだんです。
That's right, at the time, when I asked why he was staying so close to where Isaoskigami was, Seiya was about to say something before Hibiki interjected. So if your father's spirit is released, does that mean he'll return to the school?
そうね。断定はできないけれど、父にとって思い出の場所だから、その可能性は高いと思うわ。
So he's just gonna wait for the day for him to come back so he can kill himself. I thought, but ghosts can't kill ghosts, right? Then that means Hibiki's waiting for Isaoskigami to be released from hell. Did he want to give Isaoskigami a second death? So then all that stuff about crossing over, all of that was a lie. Thinking back on it, it made sense why Hibiki was always trying to get me to go home.
ねえ、今の質問は響さんに関わることなの？
Well, of course it does. That's what we've been talking about. No, it doesn't. No, it's not that. I just happened to run into a ghost on the way here that was a little strange. Got me thinking, you know. Of course you did.
まだ廊下をさまよっているかもしれない。探しに行ってくるわ。
Yeah, you go do that then. Bye. Despite my embarrassing bad lie, Yui left the room with a serious look on her face. Sorry, Yui. But I just couldn't tell you that Hibiki wants to kill your father. Besides, I still didn't know that for sure. I should go speak to Hibiki. He told you farewell. He's not gonna come back. Hibiki, come out. You're still in the mirror, aren't you? I want to talk to you. Please just come out. I continued to call out to him from in front of the mirror, pounding on it with my fist. But not once did I receive any sort of reply. Nor could I find a way inside the mirror. But I know Hibiki's still in there. I concentrated with all my might and placed my hand on the mirror, and I felt something beyond the cold, hard glass. Oh, really? What is that? I felt some kind of faint pulsating coming from it. That must have been some sign of him. That is, unless I imagined it. Either way, I couldn't give up. I wouldn't give up. Listen, Hibiki, I'm not going home until you come out here. Continue screaming into the mirror, but nothing changed.
一体何を騒いでいる
Kureha's like, shut up. Suddenly, I heard a voice from behind me and I spun around to face it.
悪霊に襲われたいのか
Ah, Kureha.
こんなところに一人でどうしたんだ響と喧嘩でもしたのか
No, quite the opposite, in fact. Well, not exactly, but I felt like it would be okay to tell Kureha all the details, but I knew that if we talked here, there was a chance that Hibiki might be able to hear us through the mirror. Well, can we go somewhere without a mirror? If he is listening, that just sounds really suspicious, right? I asked in a small voice and Kureha nodded back at me.
ここなら鏡はなかったと思うが
Sorry, I go to the school and I wasn't even sure which rooms do and don't have mirrors.
教室の場所ならともかく鏡までは把握していないだろ
As I sat down in a chair facing him, I bowed my head to Kureha. Actually, I'm in a bit of trouble. It might take a while, but would you mind hearing me out?
うなあもちろんだ
He wants to help you. I don't think Hibiki was able to cross over, but he won't respond to me anymore. Kureha listened quietly until I had finished telling him everything. Then, with a difficult expression on his face, he finally spoke.
そういうことだったかなんとなく想像はしてたが
Really?
響から暗いものを感じたことが少しあってなだがお前と接するうちにだんだんとそれを感じなくなっていった
The more time he spent around me?
なあお前のおかげで響の闇が薄らいでいるように思うおそらく 月神功を打つことよりも大事なものを見つけたのだろう。お前だ。
If that were true, it would make me very happy. If I could be the presence that brought him closer to the light, well, that might be a bit presumptuous of me.
だから安心していたところはある。お前なら響の抱える闇を晴らし、成仏させてやれるのではと。
Hibiki had told me so much. Perhaps that too had helped to lessen the darkness that he struggled with. But all I can do is listen to him. I can't actually help him cross over. Besides, he didn't even seem to want to cross over. That's why he hid his true intentions. Knowing him because he cared about me, he didn't want to tell me his real reason for staying here. That's what I thought. And yet I couldn't help but be a little shocked. No, that was just him being selfish.
ならば、今度はお前の強さを見せる時だな。心残りのジョージまで頼るわけにはいかないと思い、響はお前を遠ざけたのだろう。ならば、その認識を改めさせるのだ。お前は頼れるものなのだと見せつけてやれ。
Honestly, the kiss I gave him felt like it took a lot of courage on my part already. The act was proof that I trusted him. What else can I do to get him to trust and believe in me? Make him trust me. I can't be weak. I have to find a way to force him out of the mirror.
ようやくお前らしい言葉が出てきたな。その息だ。
I have no doubt he's watching us through the mirror, so how could I make him want to come out?
ならば俺にいい考えがある。ただし、お前が本当に強くなければなせないことだ。覚悟はあるか？
Is Kureha going to assault you? That might get him to come out. Yes, I know I can. With that, Kureha's eyes gleamed and he smiled brightly. What's with that smile? I know, right? Kureha, just what did you have in mind? I'm gonna harass her. Without a second thought, I dashed up the stairs.
待て！待てと言っているんだ！
I have to get to the mirror. I just have to get to the mirror. I was never much of an athlete, but I flew up the stairs as though I was running for my life.
お前のせいで七不思議の花が染まっていない。かくなる上は命をもって償え！
Oh my goodness. I'm sorry, but Hibiki may be a little dense, but I don't think anyone would believe that lie after spending any time with you whatsoever. Ah, he took out his sword? Don't tell me. He didn't tell me about that. Just chasing her around. I can't run anymore. When I reached the bottom of the second floor, I tripped over myself and fell to the floor. This is bad. I should have run a little more. Aw, it feels bad. Kneeling on the floor, I turned around to see Kureha, who stared at me with one eyebrow raised.
ようやく観念したか。
He says it so kindly. Like, it doesn't sound sinister at all. I've got to get back up. A smile crept up on his face, and I saw him prepare his blade for the final blow.
お前を葬れば、俺の気も少しは晴れよう。
Now please, someone save me!
そんなに叫んでも誰も来るまい。ここにはお前を助ける者などいないのだからな。
Kureha, you say it with no conviction. Like, you say it with such... your acting is terrible. Standing above me, he raised the blade higher and higher above his head. Hibiki, are you not coming? Hibiki! Just then. Hibiki! He stepped in between Kureha and me, stopping the blade with his arm. Oh my
あ
goodness.
なたがどうして彼女にこんなことを。
Hibiki stared furiously back at Kureha. Now's my chance. Tackle him. I hugged his legs. Oh my goodness. You're going to make him fall. Goodbye. Perhaps because of the force of my embrace, he toppled right over then and there. I've got you.
作戦成功だな。苦しそうに走る迫真の演技。見事だった。
I know, your acting was terrible.
演技
That wasn't an act. I was ready so hard I was in pain. Also, you didn't tell me you were going to chase me with your sword.
サプライズというやつだ。その方が真に迫っているだろ。
Yeah, definitely. If you want her to look genuinely afraid, you don't tell her a thing. That was a little too real.
え
In the midst of our conversation, Hibiki just looked back and forth at us with a puzzled look on his face.
ちょっと待ってください。今のは何だったんですか？
Sorry, but I had to find a way to get you to come out of the mirror. Kureha came up with the idea for this production.
なかなかの名演技だったろ。
And you want to be an actor.
ひどいです。僕を引っ掛けるなんて、嘘をつくなんてありえない。
Well, you've been lying, right? Oh, that makes it even then. Hibiki, looking taken aback, flinched and trembled.
俺ができるのはここまでのようだな。あとはお前に託す。
Thank you, Kureha.
響、鏡に逃げ込もうなどと考えるなよ。俺が前で見張っているからな。
I'm watching you. To watch Kureha retreat back, I pulled my hands off of Hibiki and stood up. Hibiki, sit there.
はい。
He looks like a scolded puppy. Seeing him shivering like that, I felt a little bad for him, but if I let him escape here and now, I won't be able to pull another trick like that again. I have to get Hibiki to listen to me right here and now. So the whole reason you did that whole act was to scare me back to the real world.
それはだって。
No excuses. You were trying to send me back to my world, right? Yes or no?
その通りです。まさかこんなに怒るなんて怖い。
If I'm angry, it's because you wouldn't trust me, Hibiki. This is because you were worried about me, right? You didn't tell me about your real regrets because you didn't want me to get wrapped up in them. Hibiki didn't answer me right away. He just looked perplexed. Right?
はい、そうです。
So it's just as I thought. Hibiki was always trying to help me. He wanted to help me get back to my world. That was the reason for everything. Upon understanding the cold hard truth, I felt a warmth spread through my chest. Well, thank you for worrying about me, that is. As I crouched down, extending my head towards him, Hibiki, who was still on his knees, looked up at me, puzzled. It's fine if you touch me, Hibiki. I know your regrets. They don't come from a place of darkness or evil. That's why when we kissed, my head didn't hurt and I didn't feel any pain.
いいんですか？
Hibiki nervously took my hand. A cool sensation spread across my palm. It's alright. It will be alright. I gripped his hand with all my might. He looked so scared. Then, filled with determination, I helped pull him up from the ground and nothing happened. See? Totally fine.
本当にそうなんですか？あなたのことだから無理をしているんじゃ。
I told you already, I want you to trust me. I trust you, Hibiki. That's why it hurts when you lie to me.
それは僕も今ので分かりました。けどこれ以上巻き込むわけにはいかないんです。その様子だと分かったんじゃないですか。僕はまだ成仏するわけには。
I'm just worried. What happens after I go back? I knew that Seiya was still here. Kureha was here too. I cared about him. I wished he understood my feelings. I want Hibiki to know just how much I care about him. So, seeing him there, looking lost and confused, I took a step towards him. Then, as the camera panned and his eyes got all wide, I reached out and softly whispered in his ear, I trust you, but I'll tell you my name. Aww. My name is Misa Ishiki. Kureha once told me that my name is even more important than my life. He told me not to share my name with anyone until I was able to leave this place. But I want you to know. I want to share it with my precious one. Oh. As my face separated from his, he had a look on his face like he didn't understand what had just happened. Hibiki, I want you to trust me more. I want you to rely on me.
ごめん。
As he muttered softly, his eyes filled with tears that looked ready to spill over at any moment.
ごめんなさい。ごめんなさい。嘘をついていて。ごめんなさい。
Hibiki. I reached out to touch his cheek and caught a single tear with my finger, wiping the tears of the one I loved. Doing something so simple for him brought me so much joy. Finally, I could touch Hibiki without any worry. At that moment, my heart filled with joy.
好きです。本当に。心から好きです。ミサさん。
Oh, he had to say it from the bottom of my broken heart. That makes me so sad. It had been so long since I heard my name, something about it felt fresh and new. And I loved the fact that he whispered so nobody else would hear. Oh, that's right. Whenever a friend or family member called me by my name, it didn't have the same feeling. Well, it's Hibiki after all. And because it was him, the pounding feeling in my heart filled me with pure joy. Me too. I love you too, Hibiki. His eyes filled with tears. He was very compassionate, but a little awkward when it came to expressing himself. But there was also courage there, and someone who put my happiness above all else. And that is why I fell in love with him.
同じ気持ちでいてくれたなんて。ああ。
What did he do? Hibiki, are you alright? Answer me! Hibiki! He collapsed. Just as I felt him leaning over slightly, he collapsed on the spot. Is that the end? Wait. Okay, I'm like, we never got a Hibiki perspective from that one point. Before I collapsed, I was truly happy. During my short life, and in a long time after my death, I had never been so happy. That's what I thought, at least. At the same time, I was racked with guilt of having lied to her and trapped by my lingering anger. For her sake, I wanted to cross over, but could I? Could I really let go of the hate that had consumed me for so long? Me too. I love you too, Hibiki. I could have died happy in that moment. Oh, well, I was already dead, but I was happy, so filled with this soaring emotion.
同じ気持ちでいてくれたなんて。ああ。
As my consciousness faded, I realized he was more important to me than anything. Nothing could match that. Not even the lingering resentment in my heart, in this heart of mine. Yay! No more hatred. Let go of your desire to kill. Chapter 9! I knew it was going to end. Well, now Hibiki no longer wants to kill Isao Skigami, right? So he can finally cross over and be happy and not have to worry about giving anyone a second death. That was a really cute episode. It's a nice refresher from being sad and depressed all the time, so it was so cute. Anyway, that is the end of chapter 8, and one more to go before we get into his endings. I hope I don't really know what to expect. Like, how are they going to end up together? Because if he crosses over, that's probably going to be what, the godly end, right? The heavenly end? Is that what it is? I don't even know anymore. One of the ends, he's probably going to be crossed over and she's going to be all happy because she accomplished that and he's in a good place. And then probably another end, she's going to just stay with him like Kureha, right? Which to me is a better ending because they get to stay with each other. I don't like the endings where they can't stay together. Even if they're both happy, it's not a happy ending for me. They're still separated. I don't like it. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed, drop a like down below and or subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.